the day that I get out all of my hand knit sweaters and I give you my honest opinions on the patterns and the yarns. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to get out all of my hand knit sweaters and to tell you all about them, try them on, let you know what the pattern was like to make, if it was at all remarkable, as well as how the yarn is wearing, how it was to knit with, and if I would use it again. I'm going to put a card up that's going to have the name of the pattern, the designer, and the yarns, but I'm also going to link to my Ravelry down below. If you want to go over there and follow me, you can also see all of my projects and get a little more detail if there's anything I forget to mention. Okay, let's get going. Number one. Okay, so I'm mostly going to go in order here-ish, kind of like year by year, season by season. Maybe not in the exact order they were made, but pretty close. And so because of that, we're going to start off with what is probably my most unremarkable sweater. So please hold on past this one. But I think I made this about 4.5, 5 years ago. And it's my oldest sweater that I still own that I made. I think it was either my first or second sweater. And this is the Weekender Sweater by Andrea Mowry. Now, this is a very classic pattern, and there's a lot about this pattern that I really love. I love the reverse stockinette. I love the seam up the front look, the faux seam up the front. I love the 3-needle bind off over here, the drop shoulder, the split hem. It's a great pattern and it's a classic and it's been made by so many people. The only thing I don't like, well, there's two things. Number one, I don't like that this boat neck is so open. I don't want to be able to see this when I'm wearing something, and I pretty much always wear something underneath my knit sweaters. Like 95% of the time, I like to have something underneath. And so this isn't working for me. Now, of course, there has been an update done to the pattern by Andrea Mowry, a new version that is in a different weight and has a crew neck. And also Jackie Rose has also done a little hack where she shows you how to put a turtleneck or a funnel neck onto this exact pattern. So you can also do that. As a pattern, it is actually quite nice, but this open neck for me isn't working. So I can sew this up. That's one option. However, this yarn, so this is a very reasonably priced yarn. It's 100% wool. It's woolen spun, so it's very light. So this is a very, very light sweater. But the pilling is off the charts for me. And I don't know if I just got a bad batch or whatever, but even though it was a very nice knitting experience, the pilling is so much so that I have gleaned this, I don't know how many times, and it still looks ratty. And because of that, I'm not comfortable wearing it. Like on camera right now, it looks fine, of course, because you're not seeing it up close. But up close, it feels kind of old and tired. And so in Canada, I would wear this like as a layered sweater because I was dealing with, you know, anywhere from -10, 15, -20 and more. And so I would wear layered sweaters. But here, 5 degrees is pretty much as cold as it gets. And so I don't need to layer sweaters. So I don't find I wear this very much. I might pull it out like a sweatshirt if I'm just chilly one day and wear it around the house or maybe to the grocery store, but I wouldn't reach for this very often. And honestly, I kind of had to search to find it when we were doing this today. So this is the Trescao Sweater from Along avec Anna. I made this when it first came out and it was a free pattern for a while and now it's a paid for pattern. And I made it in some knit crate yarn that came, I was an ambassador with them. And so I think I had two and then I got one more skein. So I can't remember the exact blend of this, but it's a wool cotton blend. So it's very soft. And I would say this one is one of the only ones that I can wear with just a cami or a bra. I don't need to have a t-shirt underneath. It's just, you know, your nice basic raglan. You've got the sort of eyelet detail here. You've got a high-low hem a little bit, twisted rib sleeves, which back then twisted rib was a little less used than it is now, or maybe it was used a lot after and then is being used less again now. Might have like already crested that trend. The only thing about this one again too is it has that big open neckline. So I could either add elastic or I could crochet around the neckline to bring it in. My kids wear this sometimes like as an off the shoulder top, kind of flash dance style. Perfectly nice. I mean, would I be sad if my daughter wanted to take it away to university? No, like I wouldn't mind getting rid of it, but then again, it is nice to have in my wardrobe. So it is a nice one. Okay, next is one of my first test knits for Rachel Kurihara. This is the Clove Sweater. And again, kind of similar. This one though is a drop sleeve construction. It again has twisted rib up here. It has a split hem. I made this in Schachenmeyer Extra Merino very soft, nice against the skin, doesn't pick at all. I'd probably still wear a t-shirt under this, but I don't mind the feel of it against my skin. Unlike some of the other Schachenmeier yarns, this does not pill, so I can absolutely recommend it from that point of view. It's nice to knit with, it doesn't pill, it holds its shape. This is a marl, so it's a black and white marl. I was in a black and white mood, and so yeah. Now, I had to find this in my daughter's closet because honestly, it basically belongs to her now. It's way too short, as you can see. I went through a phase where I made everything too short. Sometimes I still make things too short. So, and I find that things do start to lift after a while. So both the sleeves and the hem are quite cropped. And I don't wear sweaters over dresses, so really it has to work with my trousers, and this one doesn't. So even though, you know, it's a cute pattern, I don't think there's anything particularly remarkable about it. It's just your basic drop sleeve sweater. But, you know, as a test, it was a good sort of introduction into testing, and, you know, not a lot of pressure, and certainly a very relaxing knit. So next is the balloon cardigan from Petite Knit. And this is, I remember very well knitting this during lockdown. I can picture exactly where I was knitting it, and yeah, so it has very specific memories attached to it, let's just say that. I like this sweater a lot, this cardi. This is my first cardi from Petite Knit, or my first make from Petite Knit, and I think at the time I didn't realize, you know, how much ease was involved in her pattern. So I made the second size, and actually if I could go back, I'd probably make the first size, because even, you know, I'm a size medium in general, you know, like an 8, no, 6, I'm 6, size medium. I just do find it a little bit too oversized. And I would say that the yarn, so this yarn is mostly whole super soft, mixed with Holst Titicaca. And then near the end, I ran out of the Titicaca, and I ended up putting in some Knitting for Olive silk mohair, which is lovely. And I don't think you notice. I don't think you can notice at all when you're wearing it. Obviously, the big balloon was really in there for a while. You know, like, it was really fun to knit. It was a really great experience. It was my first cardigan. This had I believe it's a grown-on neckband, and I put these coconut buttons on it. It's worn quite well, I would say. It lies really nice and flat. I don't see much pilling. If anything, I don't wear this as much because of the very big open neckline. I feel like sometimes it falls back over my shoulders. It doesn't feel secure, and because it's so open at the front, if I'm cold, then it's not giving me the warmth I need. And if I'm warm, then it's too hot. So I wear it, but not as much. My kids both love this sweater. They both like to wear it, and they always wear it open. They don't wear it closed. I'll show you it open. So they more like to wear it like that, which is cute as well, except again, falling off my shoulders. I might add an elastic or a ribbon that kind of attaches at both sides. Do you know what I mean? To keep it from stretching out so much. I might do that. But this is sort of the first sweater where I felt like, wow, like I made a beautiful sweater. That's what this one is. Okay, so this is my Winterfell cardigan. This is by Katrin Schneider. And I did this a couple of years ago this is in not Wool Dreamers, D Lana, in basically a very rustic wool. And I will list it, I forget the name. Because it's so rustic, it needs to be larger so it's not so close to my skin. So the arms on this, the sleeves, are really tight, and so I really feel the pickiness through the sleeves. I think if this sweater was a size larger, then I would probably wear it more. The other thing is, I'll put in a picture of me having it originally. The neckline was really big around, and the sleeves were too short. So just recently, I added this much to the collar. Do you see this is the original collar, and this is what I added? And I also added 5 centimeters to the cuffs, hoping I would wear it more. So far, I'm not wearing it more, but also it's very warm and we haven't had a cold winter, and so I haven't had much need. It's also nice open. I love this pattern. I love the lines across. I learned a lot making this. The zipper was my idea, and I did that as a hack. And that came with its own challenges. I ended up using my machine, but instead of attaching the zipper from the same direction, like bottom to top or top to bottom, one side I did bottom to top and the other side I did top to bottom. Don't ask me why. And so it's slightly twisted. Can you see it goes slightly askew? And that annoys me as well. However, great pattern, super fun pattern. I would make it again. And I really love the yarn as well. If you want a very rustic, like this still smells like sheep 2 years later. So it's a super rustic yarn, but I love that it was Spanish and very reasonably priced. I think at the time it was maybe 6 or 7 euros a skein. So it was, you know, a really budget friendly project. Okay, this is another favorite. And if you've been watching me for any length of time, you have definitely seen me wear this. This is my Brightfeather Sweater from Jennifer Steingass. I love this sweater. This is my first colorwork sweater. I just did 2 color work to not stress myself out too much. I love the contrast. I love the dark with the white. I think the white just pops, you know? And then it's again here on the sleeves. This is knitting, this is Holst Noble. Holst Noble was their base that was wool with a little bit of cashmere, and unfortunately they discontinued it. And then I mixed that with the Titicaca. Down here again, I ran into the Titicaca, and so I added some Knitting for Olive silk mohair. And then the white is literally just an undyed sock yarn that I paired with white from Knitting for Olive silk mohair. I love this sweater. It is also very light. For a colorwork winter sweater, it's quite light. But obviously with the mohair and with the color work, it is cozy. It has a rolled neckline, you can see, which is a little different. And of course, rolled cuffs. Little different, this one. And there's certain things about it, like if I were to make this again, which I could see myself making it again, although there's so many patterns out there, the chances of me actually making it again. But the point is that I would make it again and I would recommend it. I might not do the color work the next time, or I might move it up just a tiny bit and then add some sort of other sleeve, because the sleeves are a little bit impractical, I'm not gonna lie. And even for warmth, sometimes the cold air gets up inside, so maybe it's not my absolute favorite sleeve. However, I love the experience of knitting this. I wear it a lot. I think it has a lot of impact, and I like the length. I finally stopped making things too short for me. And this is one that I would absolutely never give away, I don't think. I think this is here with me to stay. Okay, here's another one that if you've watched me for any length of time, you have seen this. This is my Aphra by Isabel Kramer. This was also a test knit, which again, I started to get more and more into the test knits, and I love this one. This is one of my favorite sweaters. I've worn it a ton. You can see it's got this very cool pattern, and I think she's done a couple of other patterns with a very similar thing. One thing I liked about it is that the patterning was only in the front, and so I had all of this space to just relax and not think about patterns, especially in the beginning when I wasn't so used to it. It's got a bit of a boxy shape to it. It's been worn so much. Maybe it's showing its age a little bit. It's getting a little flimsy. This yarn is Schachenmeyer Merino Yak sock base, and it's a bit of a controversial yarn. At least I've heard other people talk about it. So yak has that very kind of brown gray fiber, and it does tend to separate from whatever it's in and pill. And so I've seen people make things from different colors of this yarn, and then it just pills gray because that's what comes out. But this is gray yarn. So I did notice it pilling, and I would say that a large amount, you can see one here, a large amount of the yak seems to have kind of disappeared. Now I am getting pilling in here still, and I have defuzzed this a bunch of times. That said, it washes well. It was really nice to knit with. It was really good for color work. It is considered fingering, but I would say it's a heavy fingering, light sport. Yeah, I definitely would put it into that category because I believe this was a sport pattern, and I would knit a sweater with this yarn again. I would just make sure that I chose a color that it wouldn't bother me if it started to pill gray. Other than that, highly recommend. Okay, so this is another one of mine that if you've watched me for any length of time, you will know. This is my Agnes by Camilla Vad. And this is in Ulysse yarn from Durarem Natura. I love this sweater. I love it. I love the color work. Again, I love that pop of white against a darker color. I recently, you can probably see the line, I recently added an extra 4 or 5 centimeters to the arms. I could even add more. I might go back and literally use my last little bit and add a tiny bit more, but this is so comfortable. This is also very soft. You could absolutely wear this next to skin. I don't generally, but you absolutely could. I love the shape of it. It's maybe, again, like just long enough. I can't remember. No, I didn't add anything to the hem. It's probably just long enough. It's really good for Spain because I don't need a lot of really, really heavy warm sweaters. If I were in Canada, I would probably want another couple centimeters and again, another couple centimeters, and I would wear something warm underneath because it's warm, but it's not super warm. I highly recommend this yarn. It does pill, I would say the first 1 or 2 washes, it does pill. And I even have some pills on here right now, but it's a really nice knitting experience. It's a very light, moderately warm. The colors are beautiful and beautifully saturated. I would absolutely knit this again. And I noticed that Camilla Vad has come out with a bulky version, I think, of this, or a chunky version or whatever. I would knit this again, even this version, but I would go up a size. I think I'd like it just a little bit bigger. I'd love the color work to come down just a tiny bit more. Although I really love where this raglan hits, or not raglan, where the split for the sleeves is here, because I don't like it when it's too low, as you will see coming up. Okay, so here is another test knit. This is the Zig sweater by Andrea Mowry. And this one, I had the idea that I wanted to do like a French ski sweater is what I had in my head. So like, you know, blue, red, and white, and very crisp. And so I thought that like the zigzag pattern would really suit that coloring. You can see that we've got the color work. So this started from the bottom, and then you split and did the front and the back, and then you did the 3 needle bind off. And I do love the texture of that 3 needle bind off. This looks excellent on camera. It's really great when I want to wear color. I will say that the yarn, so the yarn is Drops Lima, and although it's very nice to knit with, and I knit Lily a sweater with the rest of the blue and a little more, and she wears it quite a lot. The only thing is that it pills quite a bit, and because there's alpaca in it, it really, like, yeah, like see the pills in this are, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but they're quite significant. Yeah, it's quite pilly. And also the fibers blend into, and so I find when I look down, it almost looks like the colors have bled, but they haven't bled. It's just that the fibers are spinning. See, I can't stop myself. I'm gonna stop myself taking things off this. So would I use this yarn again? Yes, for the right thing. So I would use it for either just a straight color, like just a single color sweater. It's very nice to wear. It's very soft. It's very nice to knit with. It's very affordable. I would knit with it again. However, I would not use it for color work again. And I would probably do it in a color that would not show off pilling. So I probably wouldn't do it in like a really light color. But that said, it's very affordable and the effect is very nice. In terms of the sweater, I don't think I'd make this again. It was really interesting. It was really fun. There was just enough color work to make it interesting, but not overwhelm me. You know, again, I made the cuffs extra long because I was tired of my cuffs not being long enough, and I like that. I wear this kind of medium amount. Like, it's not my very favorite that I grab for, like some of the ones that you just saw, where you saw my face, how much I love them. It's kind of a medium. Again, this one, if someone fell in love with it and wanted it, I wouldn't mind it going out the door, but I'm also still gonna wear it. Okay, so this is the Snowy Forest Sweater by Midori Hirose. And this was in a copy of Lina magazine that I have the physical copy of. And I love this sweater. So I did this in Nutiden, and it was my first experience with Nutiden. The Nutiden I held double, and I did not buy enough yarn. So I would absolutely buy Nutiden again. I debated it this winter, but decided I had enough yarn, I didn't need to. Next winter, I do want to buy, like when I find a color that I really fall for, I want to buy one 500-gram set, because I think you really need a 500-gram set to do something of any sort of substance, you know, unless you want to knit it with something else, which is what ended up happening. So I did this first top part. You're supposed to fold it down, but I really like a funnel neck, so I left it up. These big chunky cables are a joy. They're to die. Get a little more light here. There, you can see they're just joyful. I made a little bit of mistakes in these cables here. You can tell they're a tiny bit off, but I didn't realize until much later, and I wasn't going to go back at that point. And then what I did here is I switched. So once I split for sleeves, I thought, I don't think I'm going to have enough yarn. And so I added a strand of drops silk alpaca silk. I'll put it in. It's the thicker one, not the very thin one that's like a mohair. It's the thicker one. And it looks fine. Like if you didn't know the original plan, I think you'd think it looked like that on purpose. It certainly is nice. It does pill like crazy, this second half. Not the top part so much, although there's a little bit, but not too much. But with the alpaca silk at the bottom, it really, really does. And I don't love how low the split for the sleeves is. If I were to make this again, which I absolutely would, I'd love to knit it in a lighter color, in like an oatmeal or a cream or something like that. I would split for the sleeves as soon as I finish the cable section. I'd split there, because what ends up happening is anytime I do anything, not only are the sleeves too short, but the body is too short. When I want to be really warm and cozy, this is one of the ones I reach for. It is one of my warmest sweaters. It is almost too warm for today. I would say I might wear this out today if I decide not to wear a jacket. This is one of those jacket alternatives for this time of the year in Spain. Yeah, I love this sweater. I wish that I could have finished it in the original yarn. And I do have some of the original yarn yet left, but not enough. And I actually even tried to reach out to see if anyone had this color and could sell it to me. And I tried on Ravelry to reach out to people, and I didn't get any hits. So lesson learned. Well, you'll see later. No, not lesson learned, but I'm working on learning the lesson that I just need to not overbuy, but not be too economical that I don't get enough yarn to get the product that I want. That said, beautiful sweater. Would never ever give this away. It was just such a joy and so much fun to knit. Okay, so this is the Etamine Sweater by Emma Duché. I knit this as a test for Making Stories magazine. And if you've watched me in the past, you will know that this sweater was a lot of drama. And the reason why I signed up for the test is because I really love the idea of this feather. Like I love the idea of doing texture in the color work. And it is really impactful. I would say to here, I really love the sweater. I don't know. Well, I thought it would be interesting to throw something else, a different color in, but I don't love it. And I actually don't love this Darjeeling color either. This is the Durare Natura Ulysse, same as the one for it's buried now, but my Agnes. And I actually had a lot left over, and that's why I decided to do this, because I thought, well, I've got like 90% of the yarn. But there's a whole hullabaloo and dye lots and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's nice. I had the same thoughts on the yarn, although I'd say this hasn't pilled very much at all. Very nice to wear, light, warm, but not too warm. Very nice for color work. Decently priced, not inexpensive by any means, but also not the most expensive. I've put some elastic in this neckline to see how it snaps back, because it was coming down and I like it better like this. I'm giving this away. Matter of fact, I was supposed to send it off last week and I forgot, so got busy. So yeah, this is going away. In terms of knitting the pattern, I found the yoke really fun and interesting. Yeah, if you want to try something that has texture in the color work, it's a fun one to do. I might even, if I were to do it again, like lose this bottom part period, because I do find that I was getting some puckers. So I would almost just like end with these feathers and then go from there. But that's just me. Okay, we're getting to the finish line now. This is the Rivendell sweater by Sari Nordland, and I just finished this as a test knit. This is Dark Omen Yarns. It's a hand dyer and it's a merino yak. The name of the base is Dynasty and the name of the color is Seer. This was also very fun to knit. I would absolutely knit this pattern again. I'll give you a close up of, let me get a little more light here. There you go. Of the beautiful cables. It really is spectacular, and I love the cable down the side. If anything, this V-neck is opening up a lot on me, and when I wear it, you can see that like the back is quite low. It's quite scooped out at the back, which I don't love. I'm not quite sure the thought behind that, the thinking behind it. I find that it goes back like this and kind of open, and so then I'm losing the length in the waist. I find the cuffs are too loose. Next time I would probably do a couple more reduced rows in order to decrease rows, pardon me, before I started doing the cuffs. And I actually knit one cuff longer than the other because I did the sleeves at 2 different times and I wanted to see which length I like more, and I like the longer length more. It's not noticeable unless you know, but I might go back and add more. I do have a little bit more of this yarn, and I could even see adding a little more to the length because I did bind off a couple of centimeters early because I was hoping to be able to finish the yarn finish the sweater with the yarn I had on hand, and in the end I was not even close. So I did have to order more yarn. This is another one that I might add elastic to the neckline, and I have to admit that this is a sport weight yarn and it's a DK weight pattern. So it's very well could be that if I had a heavier yarn, it may not be an issue. It might be a flowier fabric, and also it's supposed to be knit on 3.5 millimeter needles, and I used 5s. So it's probably a lighter fabric than what she was intending. I know that she is doing a cardigan. She's got a cardigan testing right now, and I believe a vest as well. So you have other opportunities to make this same pattern in a different way. I could definitely see making the cardi. The cardi would be really fun. Okay, now this is the Noomi Cardigan from Sandnes. This is from one of the Sandnes booklets, and it's probably the first one that I've made, definitely the first garment that I've made from one of those booklets. I made this from reclaimed wool yarn that I took from a sweater that I thrifted and then unraveled. I'll put a card, I have a video about that. And this has a beautiful double knit button band. It has twisted ribs on the raglan, nice big long. Well, actually, these cuffs are from the original sweater. So when I was salvaging the sweater and taking out the yarn, I actually kept the cuffs in one piece, and I used a three needle bind off to attach them to the sleeves. So that's why they look so nice, and like the ribbing is so nice and tight. Love that. And actually the buttons are also salvaged, and then it's just got a nice regular rib hand 1x1 hem. You can wear this open. This is also a very rustic yarn. This is something that if it were too snug, like the first cardigan that I showed you, the Winterfell, that I probably would be too picky for me. I feel it a little bit on the back of my neck, but not that bad, and I don't mind on my hands and wrists. I like that it's nice and long. I like the icy color. This is very warm. This is another one that I will wear as a jacket alternative, sometimes on top of another sweater, or if it's chilly at night, and sometimes I wear a sweater to bed, sometimes I'll wear this to bed. Now it is pilling some, because I have been wearing it a lot, but I think I paid 20 euros for the sweater that I frogged, and I have enough to do another vest from it as well, so definitely good value. Good amount of ease. I made the second size. I found the Sandnes patterns really easy to follow, or pattern, this specific one, really easy to follow. I didn't have a problem. It was interesting and fun and quick. This was 2 weeks, two weeks and a bit, and that was it. So definitely can recommend this one. Okay, on to the very last sweater. This is my very latest make. This is the Terrazzo sweater by Petite Knit. I absolutely love this sweater. I mean, I have to say this is probably my very favorite for wearability purposes. I think my Aphra probably was previously, because my Aphra I wore as very much a workhorse sweater all day. And this one I wear all the time. So you can see It's supposed to have a full turtleneck, but I didn't want to do that. So I just did the funnel neck with quite a, like a firm cast off. Like I think I just used a regular knit cast off all the way around so that it would hold its shape. And then we have a saddle shoulder construction here. If you can see, where is the, can I feel for it? Yeah, there it is. So you've got that there, and then the shoulder comes off of that. It has just the right amount of ease. I made the second size, big long cuffs in half twisted rib. You know, quite a chunky hem. I think I just like a regular hem. I'm not really into the split hem. I made a few, not really necessary for me. I made this in reclaimed cashmere. So I got a cashmere sweater. And again, I have a video of me taking apart that exact sweater that I'll put in here. I bought a cashmere sweater for I think 30 or 35 euros. And I got about 500 grams of DK weight cashmere out of it. So to have this beautiful cashmere sweater, it is so soft. The yarn is marled. It's basically like a gray and a cream marled together. So it's really interesting. My daughters love wearing this one. They steal it all the time. And yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about this sweater. It's just really, it's a good one. And I mean, it's so plain, right? Like it's very, very simple, which is what petite knit does. Petite knit, right? Yeah. All of a sudden I had this moment of going, is it my favorite thing to knitwear? But no, it's petite knit. You know, she does that stuff so well. So, yep, that's my Terrazzo sweater. And a good one to end on because I'm going to leave it on as we say goodbye. Okay, well, as you can see, I am surrounded by all my sweaters, and Marta is completely exhausted from watching me change into all those sweaters and tell you about them. But I hope that you enjoyed that. I'm going to do the same, if you would like, for all of my summer tops. So if you would like to see my t-shirts and tops shown off in the same manner, telling you exactly what I think of the patterns and the yarns, please do let me know below. Just say yes, please, and I will know that you would like to see that, and I will work on that as we are coming up into spring and summer. If you enjoyed this, I would really love it if you would like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and helps me get my content out to more people. So you can just hit that little like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoy this kind of content. That's all from me for now. I hope that wherever you are, the sun is shining and you are knitting or sewing or doing whatever makes your crafty heart happy. And I hope that I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Are you sleepy? Was Mama talking for a long time? Was Mommy talking for a long time? You're such a good girl. Hmm? Yeah, that's Mommy's baby.